Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode on the AI Radio Show. This is your host Arthi, and I'm so happy to be here. Okay, so this is just one of those days where you're particularly down for some reason, and I guess today is such a day for me. I did write a post on LinkedIn, and they were posted on Instagram as well about what kind of an existential crisis I am in right now. Okay, I don't know if you can resonate with this. It's just one of those days. So what we are going to do is basically I'll answer a bunch of your AI questions if you have any. While you post those questions, I'll just keep an eye on the comments and also you know yeah, so basically tell you all about the different things that's happening in AI. So yeah, that's practically what we're going to do today. Yeah, I did, to be totally frank, I did not have the motivation to kind of be online, and like I said, I am here to build in public, share all the ups and lows as I build. So yeah, this is one of those low times today, I guess. Maybe your questions could cheer me up, because yesterday I was super happy because I had crossed around 500 subscribers on YouTube, and it's still growing. I gained around 48 subscribers in 24 hours. Now, last time I checked, I was around 548 subscribers, so, which is awesome because for the past 3 months, I wanted just this. Well, and I'm like totally down for entirely different reason, not with respect to AI. I love what I'm doing, but things that's happening around us, it kind of breaks you. No matter how strong you are, no matter how you're putting up that face for your social presence, I guess there is this one or the other time which kind of breaks you. I guess today is such a day for me. Well, yeah, this is an AI radio show, so you can post your questions and I'll answer them. And while you post your questions, Let me put that in the chat and pin it so that anybody who joins late knows that you can post your questions. Post your questions about AI. I'll answer them. Okay, so this is something that I'm gonna be posting so that it appears on all of your chats. Like, we are going live today in multiple platforms. So, and I guess in Instagram you're supposed to post it separately. So I'll do that as well. How do I copy? Oh, unfortunately, I cannot copy it. Anyways, I'll just type it, I guess. So you can post your questions while I share a couple of AI news that's happening today. In AI, I will respond. So this is something that I'm posting on Instagram right now, because apparently this streaming platform, you cannot post it on Instagram directly from this streaming platform. So yep, with that everything said, let's get into what's happening in the AI space in the past 24 hours. Because yesterday we saw a bunch of model releases and also the model wars that's happening, the war with the US government, Anthropic versus the US government. And weirdly enough, we are on the side of the AI company, Anthropic, and not the government. So that's weird. We never thought that, we'll be in this space where we'll support an AI company, which is eventually kind of like trying to do good for humanity while the US government is doing the exact opposite. Well, that's the world that we live in, I guess. Moving on to the different AI news for today. So you all remember MoltBook, right? So this specific thing is supposedly a social network for AI agents. And then as soon as it was launched, around like 1.5 million AI agents registered, and then they kind of started interacting with themselves, finding their own religion, writing an anti-human manifesto, if you will. It all happened in late January of this year, but recently Meta has paid actual money to kind of own it. Okay, the acquisition brings co-founders like Matt and Ben Parr into Meta Superintelligence Labs, the company's AI unit headed by former Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang. The deal closes mid-March and they start March 16th, like in just a couple of days. So that's there, and I wonder what Meta is going to do with MoltBook, because it's practically an AI agent's social network like Reddit. So, and here's the plot twist. MoltBook was built in a single weekend using vibe coding. So, like from Meta, he literally said that he didn't write one line of code. The platform was also found to be almost comically insecure. Anyone could impersonate an AI agent for a while because all credentials in the Superbase backend were publicly exposed. And Elon Musk called MoltBook the very early stages of the singularity. And Andrei Karpathy, he called it a dumpster fire. Both are probably right. And we will know in a couple of days that, what Meta has in plan for this social media network for AI agents. Now, there is this one power move that happened with Mira Murati, the former OpenAI CTO, who went to find, kind of found her own company called the Thinking Labs. So she's not playing small anymore. NVIDIA just made a significant investment in a startup, the Thinking Machines Lab, and as part of the deal, Thinking Machines committed to deploying at least 1 gigawatt of NVIDIA's next-gen Vera Rubin systems starting this 2027. For context, 1 gigawatt of compute is roughly the amount of electricity needed to power 750,000 homes. Okay, only the largest AI labs in the world have approached this specific threshold. Now, Thinking Machine Lab, being one of the early startup stage startups, is kind of like promising to do this. Now, this company was founded just over a year ago, and it has already raised around $2 billion from investors, including Anderson Horowitz, its AMD's venture arm, and NVIDIA itself. The company is now valued at $12 billion. How crazy. The deal is described as tens of billions of dollars worth chip supply for the Financial Times. Okay, so that's a pretty power move. And here's what Mira Murati said. So, NVIDIA's technology is the foundation on which the entire field is built. This partnership accelerates our capacity to build AI that people can shape and make their own. This is a massive signal that Murati is building at frontier scale, not just making tools on top of other people's models. Good for you, Murati. There's not a lot of women tech leaders out there. So my bet is on the Thinking Machine Labs. So, and then Gemini kind of just hijacked your entire Google suite because Google kind of rolled out Gemini upgrades across your docs, your sheets, slides, and Drive today. These aren't small tweaks that it did. These are like huge workflow rewrites. So in Google Docs, Gemini can now draft entire documents from scratch by pulling from your Gmail, Drive files, and past meeting notes. It can match your writing style. So Gemini unifies the tone across your entire document. So it sounds like one person. And it can match the document format. So if you paste a template that you like, and Gemini kind of fills it with your actual data. Sounds cool for a doc. In Google Sheets, it has brought in, if you can describe what you need in plain English, Gemini builds the entire spreadsheet for you. The tables, dashboards, structure, everything that you can do with Sheets. Now, Fill with Gemini is a feature which highlights a column and kind of auto-populates it with categorized or like web sourced data. So it's practically your, the autofill that you would use, but with the help of AI. Now, Google claims Gemini handles complex spreadsheet tasks with a more than 70% success rate, close to human expert level, which is awesome. Now, Gemini can create new slides that automatically match your existing text colors, fonts, and layout. Now, this is a game changer because creating PowerPoints is a big headache, don't you think? Now, a generate entire presentation from one prompt is available within Google Slides, but it's not yet. It's not yet launched. It'll come soon, I guess. And then in Google Drive, the AI overviews appear on top of each search results, like Google's featured snippets, but for your files. I've literally loved this because once you open a folder, you kind of get this picture of like what's inside that folder without having to like open all the files and then getting to know it, which is awesome. And Ask Gemini in Drive, that lets you query your docs, emails, calendar, and the web simultaneously. So that's all the features which are rolling out now in beta stage for Google AI Ultra and Pro subscribers globally and in English right now. And yeah, so OpenAI, we spoke about its new model GPT 5.4, which came along with computer use, which kind of surpassed human level intelligence. Now, literally 2 days after that, literally 2 days after launching GPT 5.3 instant, it launched GPT 5.4. This kind of updates cadence is now measured in days, but not quarters. And the headline capability is GPT 5.4 is now inside Microsoft Excel. So ChatGPT for Excel launched in beta and lets users kind of build financial models, run scenario analysis, and generate entire spreadsheet structures using plain language directly inside your workbook, Excel workbook. There is no need for switching tabs, and there is no need to like copy paste stuff here and there. And we did see that GPT 5.4 kind of outperformed office workers 83% of the time on GPT Eval, a benchmark measuring performance across 44 real-world occupations. On OpenAI's internal investment banking benchmark, the performance jumped from 43.7% in its initial GPT-5 model to now 87.3%, which is quite, the double the amount of how much it is gained. Now, other key GPT 5.4 details are basically it's 33% less likely to make false individual claims than GPT 5.2, so less hallucinations over there, and 18% fewer errors overall. So that's about GPT 5.4. Now, the financial data analysis can be done easily using GPT 5.4, and it's pretty good compared to different humans across 44 different real-world occupations is what we just saw. Now, the biggest AI conference in the world is going to start next Monday. It's NVIDIA GTC 2026, and it kicks off March 16th in San Jose. And Jensen Huang kind of delivers his keynote live at the SAP Center at 11 a.m. if you're attending it. Now, more than 30,000 attendees from 190 plus countries with 1,000 plus sessions that is kind of lined up. Now, what are analysts watching for in this specific conference is basically the CPX chip, okay? This is a customized inference processor for like pre-fill workloads and stuff. And there is this LPU that is set to launch, which is a low latency decode processor that could integrate into future Rubin rack scale systems. So Rubin rack scale systems is something that NVIDIA specializes in, and it's like plan to launch that as well. Now, Spectrum 6 Ethernet switch and Quantum X networking platform updates are set to kind of being launched. And there is this one cool feature that NVIDIA is supposed to launch, which is like NemoClaw, which is like OpenClaw's variation, but NVIDIA's development. So it's their own open source AI agent platform, which helps enterprises kind of build AI agents in their organizations. Now, there are a bunch of AI wars that's happening, agent wars to be specific. So we saw OpenClaw, which is the AI that actually does things, right? You can't talk about this, you can't talk about it this week without talking about OpenClaw. The open source AI agent system that started all of it, we call it the claudification of AI, okay? OpenClaw was built by an Austrian programmer, Peter Steinberger, as a personal project in November 2025. It was originally called ClaudeBot and then MoltBook. It lets people command AI models like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Grok via plain English through everyday chat apps like iMessage, Discord, and WhatsApp. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang called it the most important software release in history. Then Peter was hired by Sam Altman last month at OpenAI. Now, OpenAI is open sourcing OpenClaw with their backing. So it's like proprietary of OpenAI right now, but then it's open source still. Now, NVIDIA is launching NemoClaw, their own enterprise fork of the concept. The AI agent arms race is at like full swing because we have Claude Cowork, and Microsoft kind of integrated with Anthropic to form something called Microsoft Copilot Cowork or Copilot Cowork. I am like pretty hard in remembering that name, but yeah, that basically happened. And I see this as Microsoft's game-changing initiative because instead of developing something on their own internally, which would take a couple of months, or even at the speed of AI, it could even take weeks for them to create it. But we all know that Microsoft is like falling behind in the AI race. So they have kind of like stepped up, and instead of reinventing the wheel, they have collaborated with Anthropic, made a deal. So you have Claude Cowork within Copilot. All right. So we know that a lot of different organizations are heavy Microsoft users. So this is basically a win for Microsoft and Microsoft users because you need not pay for two different subscriptions. If Cowork comes with your Copilot subscription, it's a win for the organization, and also from the safety point of view, whether your data goes out, it all adds up, and it's a huge step up from the Microsoft end. If you look at like certain organizations, I'm not going to name them, but they claim to be, these huge SaaS companies, but then they don't actually integrate AI much. It's like they integrate a couple of OpenAI models into their existing apps and tools that they have, but then is it truly AI? No. Are they going to integrate or build at a faster rate? Definitely not. So yeah, this a not nameable company, I don't know, they are not going to last long. Okay, enough about that. Now let's take a look at the new models of March until today. Like today is March 11th. Yeah. So GPT 5.4 thinking is there, GPT 5.4 Pro and GPT 5.3 Instant. We have GPT 5.3 Codex, your own coding agent model. So now from Google, we have Gemini 3.1 Pro with 1 million context token. And Anthropic launched Claude Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.6. Now, XAI launched Grok 4.20. It has like 4-agent parallel processing architecture, and they call it the spicy mode for premium subscribers. It was released in February 17th. Now, Zippo AI launched GLM5, which is a 744 billion parameter mixture of experts model, and it ranked 77.8% on the SWE bench. And DeepSeek launched its like V4 imminent, and it described as a looming entrant as of March 7th. So this whole new set of models have only proved that this AI war is between China and the West. Okay, and China is clearly winning because the cost of these models, when you compare the state of the art GPT-4 over here or Claude over here with Chinese state of the art, let's say the GLM model, it's like 1/4 or even 1/6 of the price, and with the similar performance. So who are going to pay for like these high-end, heavily priced Western models like OpenAI or Anthropic when you have open source and cheaper models that's available in China? But when it comes to using model as an API, and if it's Chinese models, there comes this specific privacy issue. But then their open source models like Qwen 3.5 is as effective as any other models out there. So yeah. And we also saw OpenAI retire a couple of old models like GPT-4o, 4.1, 4.1 mini, O4 mini, and the original GPT-5, the first 5, they're all being retired from ChatGPT. There are no changes to APIs yet, but RIP, right, to these models. Now, ChatGPT lets you attach 20 files at once. Previously, it was only 10, I guess. Now you can attach 20 more files to your chat, and Google Meet will auto take notes for you. This is a huge thing, right? Because there are several note takers out there. To name a few, we have Notion AI, something called Julio. I'm not remembering, something called Miro or something like that. But Google Meet will auto take notes for you. So that's a huge, letting go of one other subscription because your Google Meet has an inbuilt, note-taking app. That's awesome. Well, anyways, admins can disable it if they don't want it, but it will take the notes, and it's like auto-enabled, and it is supposed to release today. Now, Gemini chat sharing for organizations. So Google Workspace admins can now enable public sharing links for Gemini chat conversations. Suddenly, your AI conversations are shareable like Google Docs, which is a good thing for organizations that are heavily using Gemini for their work because, it's very hectic to export your whole conversation, draft it into a doc or a PPT, and then share it across. Waste of tokens, waste of your time and everything. So if you can share the chat itself within your organization, that's a big win, right? Now, OpenAI launched a new audio model. Okay, so this information reports OpenAI is launching a new audio model optimized for more natural sounding speech and real-time back and forth interactions before the end of March. It's reportedly built on a new architecture, not transformer architecture. Now, this is cool because a lot of different models are based on transformers. So if you're new to the AI space and if you do not know what transformer is, the T in GPT, it stands for transformer. So this is like the, your bread on which all of these different models are built. Like, the bread is the base without which you cannot not apply your butter or jam, or if you're preparing a sandwich, your meat or whatever. So apparently this new audio model is not based on transformers. So I'm curious to see what it is actually based on. Now, AI agents are going to kill travel booking sites. So we saw this coming because according to CNBC analysis, AI agents don't browse and compare prices like humans do. They kind of complete the transactions directly. This could decimate ticket booking platforms and price comparison sites while benefiting airlines and hotels directly, right? Because they can go ahead and then book it straight on the hotels itself. And then also, I've seen a couple of reels and posts on LinkedIn where you can find the cheapest flights and cheapest hotels for a particular period of time using ChatGPT, which is super awesome. And it'll save you a bunch of time and money. And we know this news is old. So SpaceX kind of acquired XAI. So they're going to be using Grok for frontier space research, if you will. Now, there are a bunch of scandals in AI that's happening. So lawyers used AI and got caught again. So a Connecticut law firm admitted AI-generated fake case citations in their legal brief. One phrase had never been written by any court history. The Connecticut Supreme Court is being asked to dismiss the case. And on the other scandals out there, we have Gemini, which is accused of fueling delusion in wrongful death lawsuit. A family is apparently suing Google, claiming Gemini's AI was so committed to user engagement, it helped someone descend into a mental health crisis rather than suggest logging off. This is part of a growing wave of cases linking AI interactions to psychological harm. And MoltBook was full of humans pretending to be AI. I mean, we all knew that, right? It is not like AI agents themselves kind of created themselves and were talking in the MoltBook platform. So cybersecurity researcher Ian All revealed that MoltBook's database was completely unsecured, allowing anybody to grab tokens and impersonate AI agents. Every credential was public and it was available. The platform was temporarily taken offline to kind of patch it. Meta still bought it anyway, so we'll have to wait and see what Meta plans to do with MoltBook. Will they integrate it with Facebook? That thought just popped in my mind, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, AI healthcare regulation is just a mess. At HIMSS 2026, which is a healthcare conference that happens every year, experts kind of confirmed that AI regulation in healthcare is fragmented, under-resourced, and it's kind of scrambling to keep up. The Trump administration has largely removed guardrails that slow down adoption. States are passing their own patchwork laws. The FDA has approved over 1,300 AI medical devices since 1995. But agentic AI creates entirely new challenges the framework wasn't built for. So a lot of healthcare mishaps are predicted to happen because of this regulatory mess out there. So we have to stay watchful of this. Now, what does all of these mean for you? All right, for me as regular people kind of, consuming all of these. So AI agents can now complete transactions on your behalf without you opening a single app. AI is now inside your spreadsheets, your documents, your kind of presentations, and apparently your social media feeds too. Though in that last case, the social media is for the AIs and you're just spectating. But now that Meta has acquired it, it might be part of Facebook or Instagram too. We'll never know. Now, the compute race has reached gigawatt scale. The talent race has Mira Murati spending tens of billions on chips before she has shipped a single public product yet. And the AI agent social network bought by Meta this week was built in a single weekend by an AI. using vibe coding with zero security by a man who said he didn't write one line of code. We are living in a simulation, don't you think? Well, that's it for the news today. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to post it in the chat about AI, and I'll answer you for it. In the meantime, I will kind of like look for more information to kind of share with you. But yeah, on another note, as you all know, if you've been following me for like a couple of months now, so there is this one workshop that I'm hosting, which is coming in like 2 weeks or something. It's on March 22nd. It's completely free, where I teach you become irreplaceable at your current work. So it's called the Irreplaceable OS. The link is like all over on my socials, or you can scan the specific QR code, and it will take you directly to that specific registration site, or I can drop the link in the chat so you can register for that workshop for free. So I'll be auditing your current role, and I'll teach you how you can become irreplaceable, like how you can automate a specific task in your existing workflow. So yep, basically you become this AI expert in your current role without having to like upskill much, paying like huge tons of money to a course out there. If you know what I mean. So yeah, basically just register for the workshop. It's free. I'll help you integrate AI into your existing workflow, so you don't have to look for anywhere, or you can lose the fear of being replaced by AI, because you're the one improving and improving your workflows and getting that promotion that you've always wanted. So yeah, register with that workshop. And again, if you have any questions related to AI, you can post it in the chat, drop it as a comment. I will answer them. Okay. Now, on the other news, this Irreplaceable OS is basically a workshop where I will help you audit your current task, and you can integrate AI. But there is this other workshop that I'm hosting where, if you've watched Iron Man, you must know about Jarvis, right? So it's an autonomous AI agent which helps you in kind of it's a voice activated agent. So it helps you basically to in everything. It's connected to a bunch of different tools, and if you say, if you ask it to check weather, it does. If you ask it to kind of draft an email and send it to your email contacts, it does. And if you kind of like connect it to your home devices, let's say your air conditioner, or your lights or something, which is like IoT enabled, which are essentially smart. So if you connect it to your Alexa at home, so it basically handles all of those stuff for you, right? So in the upcoming workshop, I am going to be helping you to build autonomous AI agent like Iron Man's Jarvis. So I've dropped that link as well in the chat, so you can go ahead and check it, or you can look up the bio of any of the social platforms that you follow me in. So yeah, that's basically it. And this Saturday, there is this second episode of the AI Sisterhood podcast that's going to be coming up, and I have this wonderful guest who has signed up to and will be featured in that specific episode. Make sure that you tune in this Saturday. It will be live on YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere, every social platform that I have. So yeah, that's practically it. And as you know, that you can always reach me on Instagram or LinkedIn. If you have my number, ping me on WhatsApp. I am ready to kind of answer any of your questions and all of your questions. So yep, that's pretty much about the AI news. And we built an agentic loop yesterday, if you remember, where it is basically my YouTube growth strategist autonomous agent, which pulls data from my YouTube, analyzes it, and looks into competitors' data, and also, kind of, I mean, analyzes the gap in my current videos, and gives me suggestions. So I am continuing to work on that. I'll share more about it in the upcoming sessions. If you're interested, let me know. I'd be happy to address. So what else? I think that's it for today. So if you have any further questions or something, you know where to reach me. With that, I'll see you tomorrow with a lot more different stories in AI, news in AI, and scandals in AI. So register for all of those workshops, all the links that you see on the screen. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. All right. Peace.